Hey all, David T here from Fieldsport Scotland. How often do you test your rifles? Well, for me I test them quite a lot because I use them every day. I've got various different calibers that I use and I'm really looking forward to getting another caliber for a different kind of job. The wind is a little bit much, but for 100 yards that's not too bad. We're talking like 10 mile per hour gusts if you're lucky. And it's really warm. I've had some feeding issues in regards to some of the factory rounds I've used, so I'm loaded up some home loads here. I'm going to give them a try today to see what the grouping's like. It's been a while since I used these ones. I've got the 635 on my 223, so this is a DNT optic 635 on my 223. I'm also going to make sure that my thermal is matched up with my thermal reticle is matched up with my night vision reticle. I took a shot the other night there using the thermal, and I was a little bit low and to the right, and it wasn't exactly, the placement wasn't as perfect as what I thought it was. Still shot the fox, still dropped it okay, but it was a headshot and it was more closer to the jawline than what I would have liked. And the fox was dead. So I know people say, well, as long as it's dead. However, we're talking like 2 inches difference between my nighttime reticle and the thermal, and I can't have that. If it's misty and I've already identified what I'm going to shoot at, the thermal's a little bit better than the night vision because I don't have to rely on the IR. So I want to be able to use both. So this is what I'm about to do today. So I'm going to test 4 of these loads just now, 4 rounds of this load just now. Just got to see what a group is. I'm not even going to, I've got a little fox target up there at 100 meters. I am going to quickly just do that and then see how far off I am in regards to that. I'm not going to zero it to these just yet. I want to see what the group's like first. So, not going to be a perfect shot, perfect placement. I'm going to go for kind of on the fox target, a little bit back end, because I want to use the fox target later on for something else. So here we go. We're just going to. This gives you an idea of what the day optics is like on a really bright day as well on the 635, and I'll take some thermal imaging on during the day while I'm doing this as well. So. Let's find my fox target. Well, I can see it perfect. Hit record. Just going to go for the back. Just above the back leg, I've got a bit of tape there that I've not ideal. Sitting on my front slip. And the bonnet's hot. Pocket. Feeding is better with the home loads. I had a feeding issue, quite a nasty feeding issue with the Fiocchi. If I had to rack it quick, so I couldn't do a quiet bolt cycle, so I'm testing that with this as well. It should be fine because I full size my brass. Now, I'm not looking for perfect groups out of these. I'm just looking within that ½ inch or 1 inch would be ideal, especially for foxing. I'm going to try a slow chamber. See, that's where I'm having the problem. So it's not, I know it's not the ammo. I can't get the bolt in, you see. I know it's not the ammo. I've full sized this brass. That tells me I've got a magazine problem. So I'm going to have to replace the magazine. So I'll get you out of there. Magazines are not cheap, they can be up to £100. I don't have a problem when I cycle fast, just when I'm cycling slow. And I like to cycle slow sometimes when I want to be quiet. Got the bonnet's hot. Back on that rear target. That's 3 rounds I've done so far. I'm just going to do another slow cycle. Now that was a nice slow cycle there, which it worked very well. Might just be a little bit of spring problems when it's getting that halfway mark. So could be the case I could just get away with. Could be the case I can just get away with I'm using the second bag for my arm so I don't burn my arm off the bonnet. The cleaning out the magazine, haven't tried that yet, but those polymer mags are a pain in the ass to take apart. Might be the case I just get a new mag. But just as good. Anyway, last round for this group. Right, put you on standby to save the battery, and we'll go for a wander. Just take you with us. I'm not shy and see where I was going. So there's my fox target in the tree there, up there. So 100 metres. Let's we can have a look. Yeah, as I said, it is actually generally kind of worthwhile having a look at your rifle every so often, making sure it's zeroed. Even if you're not going out shooting, take it out once a month, twice a month. Get it zeroed up, get it checked. If you've not got permission locally, try and find a range or something. It is worth it. So, as I said, 223, I'm getting a kind of cycling issue. The odd jam here and there. And not so much a jam, but it's because it's a manual bolt. But yeah, well, let's go and see what's going on here. It's ground. There's my fox target. Nobody can say I've not got a good enough backstop. Now, this rifle's not zeroed to this round, I just wanted to see what the grip was. A little square grip there. I think I can cope with that. That's a weird square. I don't think I could do that again. That's what I was going for. So I'll go in there for that. So what I'll do is I'll be happy to go ahead with that. And yeah, I'll be happy to go ahead with that load. I know it runs around about 3015 FPS. So I'm going to go and play with some of the spare ammo I've got. I don't even know if it's a point. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Right, let's go play with the 17 HMR and some more ammo. Okay. Pause it just now, guys. I'm just going to head back to the car. So, although I'm going to zero my round to that, zero my rifle to that round, I've got no more ammo made up with me for it. I am going to mess about with some more cartridges, some more 223 bullets that I've got that I've been sitting spare and things. So I'm just going to use it, free up the brass, have a bit of fun today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to match up the thermal and the day and night reticle and the thermal reticle right now. Can't really show you this on the scope. I used to be able to record. For some reason, I can't record me going through the settings, which I wish I could. Let's turn this on. But I turned it off. On. Right. So I don't need the magazine in. I'll leave the bolt closed because obviously everything's safe anyway. So let's in my target. Now going to put it on record just now so we can see what the difference is between thermal and night vision. Let's put a reticle on the head. So zoom the thermal slightly, brighten it up. There we go, I can see better now. Now, it's showing me that the thermal is off to the right by a good amount. Off to the left. So let's there's a middle dot there. I don't think it is. I don't think it's off at all. I think down a little bit. I think we're okay though. Yeah, we're okay. Must have been just me and a bad angle or something. I think we're off about an inch, inch and a half. Flag's biting me. In this heat I can see that fox target quite well. Right, okay. No point playing with that. This I'll have to re-zero anyway. Let's mess about with some of this ammunition that I have. See what our grouping is. I'll not use all of it, I'll just use 3 at a time. So we know about that square. That's quite an unusual square. As I said, just footage for playing with, that's all I'm doing. Seems to, let's go for that same spot again. Have a look at the groupings later. That's 3 rounds of that. I've got 10 rounds of these made up. If they're quite good I can use them and not worry about zeroing at the minute. It's these are soft points. I'm just going to use all of these ones up. I'm not putting the box on the bonnet because the bonnet's so hot. Don't want to risk having any damage. I'm just running brass at the minute. We'll go for the middle target on this one. This barrel's getting a little bit hot. There's no mirage or anything really at 100 yards for a little bit of mirage, nothing much. These are a little bit over pressured, these ones, that's why I'm using them up. With a cover I can't lie down. There's thistles, there's all sorts of things going on. So I'm just doing everything off my bonnet right now. So let's feed this in. Got a couple of foxes to do on one of the farms in my spare time, so I'm going to do them. Right. Ooh, we're scorchy hot. We're scorchy hot. Now we'll let this cool down. Turn off the camera. And we'll go play with it. Get this out the sun and the shade. Let the barrel cool down. And we'll go get the 17 HMR. So now we've got the 17 HMR and I've got the 225R on top, so that's the Thermnight 225 from DNT on top. Gonna check if this is zeroed. I zeroed it in the wind. 17 grain bill, it's never great to zero in the wind. I've not had any issues with it, but it's always good to double check. The wind's dropped down, perfect, and I gotta let the 223 cool down for a little bit. So let's have, I'm using Hornady VMAX, like what I'll be using on the 223, but those will be home loads, obviously these are factory. Cord on. Now I'm going to put a couple of rounds into the head of this box and see if it's on target. Just bring this a little. Probably see it better in the thermal than what I would. That's us out. So well, I've done 3 of those. Done 3 of those. So let's go and have a look. Probably could have done with backing this off slightly so I could see a bit better. The sun is beating straight in my face. Doesn't have a sunshade on this. It could do with a little bit of sunshade maybe. Let's see what the therm is like. Wow. I can see the whole fox in the thermal, but it's not as good as the 635. Remember, this is really base model stuff. This is 225. But back in the day, this would have still probably cost you £2.5 grand for this. Full multispectral for under £1,000 is phenomenal. Anyway, we're going to turn this off. We're going to go take a wander and see where that went. So, 17 HMR isn't zeroed. We'll have to check it, we'll have to sort that zero. Did it in the wind. These 3 there. I was aiming for that. Let's check out these others. So that was the first group, as you've seen. And there is another load that I had. They're pretty much perfect. Figure out what that was. And then we had that 5 round as well with the soft points. They're not bad, but they're still under half an inch. Let that cool down, but let's see if we can do a better job with the 17 HMR. because that would be the least beam. That would be all three misses shooting ears here. So let's drop that down a bit and work on that. So let's get this zeroed. Don't need the magazine just yet, I'll stick it in my pocket. It's all clear. Let's drop the bipod so we get better angle. Slightly up a wee bit then. Right. Turn it on, let's get this checked out. This only takes a couple of seconds to zero this. Once you know it's on paper and you kind of know where you're going, you're pretty much there. So. Right, there's our fox target. Oh. This one we can record while we zero. No, we can't. So, freeze frame. And it's just our elevation, it's slightly off. Right, let's put the magazine in. Load around. Tell me the battery's low, but that's cool. I have to do this. Actually, tell you what, we will replace the battery while we're at it. Should be saved anyway, so we'll just get a spare battery. It's a good thing about these 18650s, you can actually, with the Thermnight and the new V2, you get to the point, it's 21700s. With the 18650s, not really had any issues with, as long as they're flathead ones in this, and then, but this is a good test because I've just swapped the battery out, which means I've taken the power off of it. It's on charge when I get back. Turn it on and see if this has made a difference. Right. Okay. Right, here we go. Put 5 in. Sun is really in my face right now. The angle's a little off to that. That's better, I'm not fighting. Oba. a hang on that. You can sometimes get that with 17 HMR. Press the trigger and then about a fraction of a second after it goes off. I think that's 5 yet. Be curious to see if any of these are split. Bit of a scrape there, that one's split. Keep this aside and I'll show you a split case. That is how I know that hang fired. People who say, oh, I don't get split cases on 17 HMR, they don't shoot 17 HMR enough. It's actually very common. I reckon the one that's split is, I'll show you that in a second. I reckon that's the one I had the little hang fire on. Maybe a little bit more pressure in that. Anyway, let's put this in standby. We'll go and see. So, actually, I'll show you the split case. Yep, that's your split case that I received. So anybody who says that they don't get split cases on their 17 HMR, I am very dubious. I get these quite often actually. At least I get two in each pack. So keep that and we'll have a look at that later. So, there we go. Obviously I had a hang fire. One in the centre. They're all on that little 1/4 inch piece of tape. I'll be happy with that. Let's go have a wee play. Get back. So these were our first 3. So I brought it back down to that. It's a genuine size Fox target, so Fox size target. I put 3 rounds in here of 223. These are the ones that the rifle is actually zeroed on. These are the ones I've had there's a factory Fiocchi. I've had a few issues with feeding, but accuracy wise they've been fine. But I'm going to switch this to thermal mode. I'm going to see how far my thermal's out after that like undesirable shot the other night there. We'll see how it goes. And then I'm going to get out of this heat because it's 25 degrees today. Which is not bad. Now, I'm going to put the rounds into the head of my Fox target. Basically simulate the shot that I took the other night there. Bear in mind the other night though, I was shooting at something like 207 yards. So there is that as well. I want to make sure at 100 this is fine. So, switch. Pretty much see everything on that box. For the thermal, let's put the record. Right, so the aim is headshot this roughly where I shot at the box the other night. Bear in mind the other night I was shooting at around about 200 yards. This is 100 yards or 100 meters. So I'm going to put 3 rounds. I have already shot at the head of this Fox with the 17 HMR, so we'll be able to tell the difference between. And I'm just going for the centre of the head. I can't see the target. I don't think. Oh, maybe I can't actually. I can see my little. Oh, hang fire. Not good, not good. Hang fire. First hang fire I've had with this rifle. Let's see what's happened. Put down in the ground. Oh, never struck. Didn't strike at all. No strike. Mm. Did it feed right or something? Let's try again. Right, that time. Must have had a moment. So I'm doing this on thermal mode, which is not ideal in this heat, but let's see. Weird, I never got a strike on that first one. Anyway, let's close that down. Let's go see. Let's go see that target. So definitely hit. Third one went into that little bit of tape. As I said, I'm on thermal, so I'm not got a proper point of aim, but I think that's 17 HMR. But hey, it is a little low to the right. Now you put that out to 200 yards, it will be a little bit more lower. That's pretty much what happened to me. I was aiming for there, around about there when I was shooting the other night there, and I got around about there. I actually got around about here. Still killed the fox, but was a bit upset about it. It was a bit of a mess. But hey, I'm happy. I kind of know. Anyway, it's getting re-zeroed with different ammunition. It's getting re-zeroed with different ammunition, and we'll be happy. Get it all sorted. Right, a little bit more playing, and then we're heading back. So we've got spear. I'm going to stick it to that third target. Spear ammunition. These are hollow point varminters. I know these grouped well, but I'm just going to play with them just now. They're not zeroed at all, so I'm just going to see how far these are out. And then I've got some mix and match 60 grain. These are 55 grain. All the bullets I'm shooting today are 55 grain, except for that last three that were factory. They were 50 grain. Let's shoot these using daytime, and we'll put that in the end target. Clarity on the 65 day scope is far better than the 225. Far more refined. A bit more recoil on that. Let's get battle scorching. Right, I think it's time to get the target and head home.